Mike Counihan is a cop in New York, and I started following him because of his fitness initiative with the first responders and the police. But then I'm like, oh look, this guy likes to fish, and this is like a really big thing for him. There you go, you got it, man.
Yeah, that's the right one.
I don't know, something tells me he's hooked a couple fish before.
That was cool.
That's a permit eater, a bonefish eater.
Yeah, that's full grown. Nice job, Mike.
Oh! Yeah!
Come on. Oh, he ate it. He ate it. He ate it. Nice, baby. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I thought you said you had to...
Got him, relax.
Oh, dude, he just ripped my boat off. Oh, awesome. Look at that big boy. Woo!
The Hawks Cay Saltwater Experience, presented by Yellowfin, with Captain Tom Rowland and Captain Rich Tudor.
What's up, Rich?
Hey, guys.
Hello, sir.
Hey, sir, Justin.
Good to see you.
You too, brother. How you doing?
Great.
This is Mike.
What's up, Mike?
Pleasure.
How you doing?
Great to meet
Good
you.
to see you. Come on on. So did you and Tom get in a big workout this morning?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
We will.
We're going to, though.
It's a matter of time
Let's see,
before
Mike,
it
you can
happens.
put your bag up here.
Great.
Well, he's been known to work out on the boat, so fishing gets slow, you know,
Yeah.
they'll have something to do.
Thank you, sir.
Set it in the top.
Perfect.
How you been, Justin?
I've been good.
Well, it's not quite as calm as last time we took you out, but,
Yeah, we'll make it work.
What do you think, Rich?
well, I don't know. What do you want to catch? You got anything in particular?
Oh, I don't know. Some snooks, some tarpon maybe, some jacks.
Sounds good. We might be able to do that.
And then I think later this afternoon, shark fishing would be really good. We have a big tide for that.
I'm down.
Do you like shark fish?
Absolutely. Come down every year, we get the black tips. We
Oh,
fish that
right.
black tip migration, yeah.
Now, where do you do that
So,
at?
like the West Palm area.
Oh, sweet.
So it's a good time.
Yeah, well, we've got some black tips
He
around
does
here.
a lot of fishing.
Yeah.
Good. All right, well, we'll mix it up and see what we can do. Just go fishing. Never know what we'll find around here.
Yeah.
So that was cool to get out with Justin again. Last time we fished with him, you know, we got to go with him and Sheldon and just had a great day. It was slick, calm, and catching all those big jacks and just everything. And then, you know, as we were talking, you know, you and him got to talking about your fitness and you got to bring up Mike.
Yeah, I would call it a mutual friend now, but you know, someone that I have followed on Instagram for a long time is one of Justin's friends, and that's Mike Counihan. And Mike is a cop in New York, and he has a very good Instagram. And his main kind of focus on his Instagram is that he wants to help other cops and first responders and people that are responsible for other people to take good care of themselves and you know, put their fitness as a priority, because in that line of work, that might determine whether you go home or not. And so Justin suggested that we get Mike down here and go fishing. I was like, yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd love to meet that guy. And so it finally happened. You know, we've had scheduling issues and tried to make this work a couple times, and we got him down, and it was awesome. He was as cool as I thought he was gonna be.
So I hear you like to catch the stripers.
Oh, yeah, man. That's all we have back home, man. It's only stripers and bluefish, really, unless you want to get the small stuff like fluke, blackfish. But the stripers are where it's at.
Good.
It's some hardcore fishing, man. Wearing the wetsuit, getting out there, swimming around
Wow.
with the sharks.
It's dangerous. The increase of sharks makes it gets a little bit sketchier every year. You know?
Yeah, it was cool. You know, Justin's a great guy. We got the pleasure of fishing with him, and you know, he's part of the Hawks Cay ownership group, who's just way behind the fishing and supporting that. I mean, it's interesting to watch over the years just how involved the ownership group and the management group of Hawks Cay is towards fishing. I mean, they realize this is a giant industry in the Keys. It's a big draw for people all over the world to come here, and they're really supportive of that, and they get involved in it. Justin didn't grow up being a fisherman, but he's learning it, just like you go out and learn how to play golf. Yeah! Good job, Justin. He's learning how to fish. He's fishing with us and Sheldon and other people that know how to do it, and having a great time. And your mutual acquaintance there with Mike. Well, Mike is an avid fisherman.
Yeah, he's definitely an avid fisherman. He's been fishing since he was a little kid, and he's up in the Northeast. And in the Northeast, you have a migration very similar to what we have down here. We have the tarpon migration, and that's the striped bass migration. And people that do that are fanatics.
Some of them.
Yeah, some of them are. And there's a lot of different ways that you can do it. And Mike likes to do the beach fishing, where you're getting out and I mean the waves are crashing. Mike likes to wear a full wetsuit or sometimes waders, wading out into the ocean, basically fishing almost underwater sometimes. And Mike he likes to get out in remote stretches of the beaches and find these fish moving through in their migration. So on his Instagram, I've always noticed, like, I started following him because of his fitness initiative with the first responders and the police, but then I'm like, oh look, this guy likes to fish, and this is like a really big thing for him. And that's what he tells people about mental health too, is that it's very, very important that you have a hobby. So like his job is being a police officer in New York, which can be extremely stressful and dangerous. And his hobby is fishing, that's where he kind of leaves the job behind, clears his mind. And he suggests that for everyone. Fishing is one of the many things you could do. It could be golf, it could be any kind of hobby, but it's important to have a hobby. So Mike, how long you been a cop?
Oh man, a little over 14 years.
14?
Yeah.
All in New York?
Yeah, all in New York. 8 years running around answering 911 jobs. And then the last few have been in the Counter-terrorism Bureau. And I'm in a very fortunate position within that bureau. I'm able to help cops from a physical and mental health standpoint.
Yeah.
Try to get them on the right track with training and nutrition and all that stuff.
I mean, it seems like, to me, like if you're a cop,
It's a no-brainer.
that's a no-brainer, right? But it's not necessarily the case.
It's, we're helping everybody.
Yeah.
And we have a tendency to put ourselves last and let the job consume our lives. And mental health is it's kind of pushed to the back burner, but it was brought to the forefront. We had I think it was 11 or 12 suicides a couple years ago.
Really?
Within our department alone. So we kind of got proactive and tried to help guys get on the right track.
So you kind of put yourself out there and took a couple of lumps and...
Yeah, I took a couple lumps at first. The job was very skeptical about the whole social media thing, but I was in a situation at work where my level of fitness pretty much determined whether or not I went home.
Right.
And I saw the benefit in, trying to really drive home that point where, listen, this fitness could really save your life, especially in this line of work,
Yeah.
Where,
All right, let's see if we can get this. Good, look at the head on this thing,
That is
man.
a big nurse shark.
That's the biggest catfish in the whole lake.
Key West cat shark.
That one that's as big as they get right there. He might move slow, but he's very strong.
yeah.
Like a sumo wrestler. Okay, good, that's fine. Easier
job,
on him,
Mike.
easier on us. Good work, man.
Thank you, sir.
And
Appreciate
really
it.
good work on the initiative, man. Good job for doing that. There you go, you got it, man.
Yeah, that's the right one.
I don't know, something tells me he's hooked a couple fish before.
That was cool.
The Hawks Cay Saltwater Experience, presented by Yellowfin, is brought to you by Hawks Cay. Find what lures you. Lowrance, America's #1 fish finder. Waypoint, the destination for outdoor entertainment. Mercury Marine, go boldly. St. Croix Rods, the best rods on earth. And by Ameritrail Trailers. Daiwa. Marathon. Black Rifle Coffee Company. Salt's Gone. Power Pole. And Reflex Boat Decking.
As we were thinking about what to do today, the weather wasn't the greatest. It was blowing, there was some rain, we really had to dodge these storms and just had limited options. But the beautiful thing about here at Hawks Cay is even in very marginal weather, there's a calm side of the island. There's about 20 different species that are just immediately available. Man, if you go a little further, there's 50 different species. But on the inshore side, especially with that 26, really we had a lot of options. The boat was, dry and comfortable to run around. And finally, once we, bounced around a little bit, we started out the morning looking for, just caught some pilchards, and we were trying around the mangroves. We're hoping maybe we'd see a snook or tarpon or something like that around the mangroves, but it really wasn't happening for those. So the next best option was the sharks.
Yeah, and we've really lost the tide in some places for some of the types of fishing that we wanted to do, and we start kind of going through our head, like, what could we do in the limited time that we have? How do we show these guys a good time? And that was the shark fishing. We were lucky that we still had some current, and we start kind of always like taking people shark fishing, because if you've only shark fished in places where the water's murky, or you do it at night in some places, or Mike's doing it from the beach, I always like to see people's reaction, because these sharks are going to come into very shallow water, and you're going to actually be able to see them and pick and choose which of the sharks you want to catch.
There you go, you got him, Justin. Good job.
Okay, just hold on, don't reel. Okay, here's the lemon coming in again. It's right in front of Rich. Rich has got it right in front of him. Okay, he's gonna come back around. This is the most fun part, when you can pull it away from the ones you don't want and catch the ones that you do want. I love that part.
What's this one right?
That's a nurse. That's Justin's shark. You're going to see a lot of different kinds of sharks in the Florida Keys, and for what we do out here, you see the nurse sharks a lot, and the nurse shark is probably the least athletic of the sharks, but one of the most interesting, because they get in and they eat the lobsters out of the holes, and they don't have to be fast to do that. And they're very efficient, and they can get very big because of that. And then you have the lemon shark, which is a target species, the black-tip shark, which is the fastest, most athletic shark that we have down here, then the bull shark, the tiger shark, the hammerhead shark. Those are most of our inshore sharks. So we're asking Mike and Justin if they've ever caught any of those species. And just talking to Mike, he's a fisherman, man. It's as exciting for him to collect a species on his life list as it is to catch something really big. Like, he was just as excited about catching anything, a snook, a redfish, anything that we were talking about. He was like, oh, I've never caught one of those. That'd be great.
And that's something we forget. As guides, as people that have it all the time, we take a lot of things for granted. Even, my oldest son, when I just listen to him, what he wants to fish for, he wants to go shark fishing. He's fished for everything else. He's got all these opportunities, these glamour species, this, that, tarpon. He likes to catch those big sharks, man. They fight good. And then, and as I was listening to what Mike was saying, he was excited about the shark fishing. Sure. He was telling me and bragging about the blacktip he's caught. Justin, who hasn't fished a lot, he was so excited about those sharks. And I asked him, was that the biggest fish you ever caught? Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Then I asked him if that was the biggest fish he ever wanted to catch, and he said, absolutely. Should be right in range.
Now drift it back hard.
Right here.
Yeah.
Get to the bottom.
Let it drop. There you go. You got it, man.
Yeah, that's the right one. Sweet.
Mike.
Good job, Mike. Right here, Justin.
Oh no, something tells me he's hooked a couple fish before.
That was cool.
That's a different shark.
A little different than the nurse.
that one has horsepower. If you need to go back to the back, just everybody will get out of your way.
Nice job, Justin.
Nice.
Is that your first nurse?
Fisherman has priority.
Yeah, nurse shark and a lemon shark now.
Yep.
Way to go, Justin.
Now, I wouldn't put any more heat on him than you have now. You got a lot.
I've been a cop in New York City for 14 years, 8 years answering 911 jobs. The last few years have been within the Counter-terrorism Bureau. Within that bureau, I've been given a great opportunity to help cops with their physical health, and then in turn, we kind of hope that they reap the mental health benefits of that. The whole push on social media in the fitness aspect was after that really bad incident I had at work. I was in a situation where I was fighting over my gun, and it got real scary real fast. And my level of fitness determined, I think, whether or not I went home. And I saw the benefit where if somebody else was in that situation that maybe didn't train or didn't work out, I don't know if they would have walked away from that situation. That was a big eye-opener for me, and that gave me the initiative and the incentive to really push the importance of physical health for police officers and all first responders, really. At first, rightfully so, the department was a little hesitant about social media and fitness and my whole angle of it. But once they saw my intention and they saw that I was really out to help people, they gave me a really great opportunity to actually go out there and help cops, and I'm super grateful for it.
That's a permit eater, a bonefish eater.
Yeah, that's full grown.
Yep, and you hooked him just perfect too, man.
Nice job, Mike.
I've actually been a fan of the show for a long time. I remember watching the show many years ago and be like, man, how cool would it be to go down there and fish in the Florida Keys? And it's something that I've always wanted to do, and it seemed like it was so far-fetched, it would never happen. To actually be down here and be on the show was like far exceeded my expectations. It was such a good time being able to pick and choose which sharks we wanted to pitch our bait at. And I've never caught a lemon shark, I've never caught a nurse shark. I usually fish a blacktip migration, and we'll target them on topwater plugs and stick shads and stuff like that. And it's a blast, but to be out on a boat, on the water, fishing in, you know, a foot, 2 feet of water, catching these big, you know, 8, 9 foot sharks, it's very different. It's a lot of fun. Thank you, sir.
Flex your muscles.
Thanks.
He didn't flex as much as he could have there.
Gonna need another hook.
Straighten that out.
Yeah,
See you, buddy.
We go through a lot of hooks. All right, good job.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Okay, nurse or lemon shark coming in behind these 2 nurse. Right there. Yep. A little further in front. Okay, just leave it right there. He'll come back to it, I think. He's hesitant. We might need another piece of bait or something.
Yep.
Oh, that's you.
Justin.
Is it?
Wait,
Is
wait,
that
wait.
you?
Real. You got him, Justin.
Justin.
Yeah!
Now that one's gonna be
That's
a
a
little
whopper
more.
there. Another double
That's a
header.
little more athletic shark right there, Justin. I think you caught the mica sharks right there. You're gonna be busy for a little while, Justin. If you're not familiar with sharks or even just the different fish that we have down here, you're looking, and one of the things that happens is that you can start to, oh, I've caught a nurse shark, maybe I don't want to catch one of those again, let's try for a different one. And you can start to see from a long way away, okay, that's a nurse shark because see how it's this particular coloration, it's moving a little slower. This is another one coming in, it has a different tail pattern. Justin and Mike were starting to see, oh yeah, that's a nurse shark, that's a nurse shark. Oh, here comes a lemon. And then to be able to say, okay, the nurse shark's about to eat it, let's pull it away from him and let's throw it back out to that lemon shark and try to catch him. Rich, that one's dumping that spool.
Yeah.
I think we ought to go after him.
Yeah, he's a big one. Let's chase him so he didn't get off. That's a good one. So just hold on, Justin, let him run, and then we'll start the boat and follow him a little bit. But it turned out to be really good. Justin hooks this big fish, you know, where it's screaming out, you know, and you kind of don't know what kind of species it is. We didn't see that one come in, but the way it ran, it was probably a lemon or a blacktip, the way it peeled off the line. I'd say that one outweighs you, Justin. That's a big one.
When you're on the right diet. Look, let me just show you something real quick. Like when you're here like this, it should never be, like what Rich was saying, it shouldn't be hard to reel. So look, like that. And then if he takes off, I'm just gonna let him, right? So that's what you're gonna do. Just lift him up and just let him take off. And you shouldn't ever be like trying to winch him in, right? So just lift up. And then you're gonna gain by dropping the rod and reeling. There you go. There you go. That's the way right there, exactly. Now he's probably gonna take us for another lap or two.
And he was doing a good job. This is where you have to educate people on how to use the tackle. We're fishing with fairly light tackle for the size fish we're catching, and you just can't overpower them. You know, and these guys are both strong, both Justin and Mike, and the tendency is just to crank and reel, you know, and just force them in. But that's not the way it works. The tackle we're using, it's all technique, and it was fun to work with Justin and teach him that technique. You know, through these fights, it was a great education for him, and now he's gonna be able to fight any kind of big fish.
So the reason that we do that is because if he really takes off and you got a really tight drag, that can break him off. So we use a loose drag, palm the spool, pull it up, and then if he takes off, you just let the spool go, let the reel do the work. There you go. See, now you're making headway.
A little higher.
Oh, you weren't gonna get a workout in today.
His arms are gonna be quivering here in a minute. Yep, there you go. But just always being ready to take your hand off that spool. There you go.
Now he's giving up.
He's getting it
It's
now.
you against him.
He's gonna be dangerous here in a minute.
So having a boat lift in a saltwater environment is a great advantage. Not only is it ultra convenient just to hit a button and your boat's in the water and out of the water at the end of the day, but it also protects your boat in a lot of different ways. One, it keeps your bottom from fouling. You know, if you have your boat in the water for more than a week down here, you've got algae growth. Another week, you got barnacles and stuff that just doesn't come off, and it can really damage a boat. And then the other thing it does is really protects it from storms or sinking. When we leave a boat in the water down here, a big storm comes by, even just rain, bilge pump can go out, something like that, and your boat's on the bottom in the morning. So knowing it's up high out of the water avoids, you know, any storms, winds, waves, water. Boat lift is a huge advantage. Now, when I'm looking at boat lifts, I want to look at a couple different things. Over the years, I've used a lot of different types, elevator style, 4-post, even the jet dot type ones. But what I really like is these 4-post. If I have the ability to put it down there, this 4-post lift has no metal in the water when it's up out of the water. That means there's nothing to corrode. In the saltwater environment, corrosion is the biggest problem. So I prefer the 4-post lifts. The next thing is just look for a great quality lift where the motors are sealed. These Golden boat lifts have the best components, and I really trust them. Their C-drive motor is sealed. There's no way water or corrosion's getting into that motor system. That's a huge advantage. And the other thing is there's a couple boat maintenance things. It really doesn't take much on a boat lift like this. Is one, grease the fittings. There's a couple grease fittings there. Just put a little marine grade grease in there with a grease gun, and that's going to keep it, you know, running smoothly and not squeaking. And then the next thing I like to do is just spray it off at the end of the day. It's simple as that. If I'm spraying off my boat, I'm going to spray off the lift. And I've really learned over the last couple of years, if I use the Salt's Gone spray on there, it helps it even more. It gets all the salt off of it and really helps protect it for many, many years to come.
The Hawks Cay Saltwater Experience, presented by Yellowfin, is brought to you by Yellowfin, only in a Yellowfin. Hook. Tackle Direct, the world's premier fishing outfitter. Yeti. And by Burno and Rod Holders. Wiley X. Nikon. Buff. Lithium Pros. And Golden Boat Lifts.
Did you know you can get every episode of Saltwater Experience completely free on Waypoint TV? Go to waypointtv.com and find out how you can download the app or find it on any smart TV. And if that's not enough, you can find the Tom Rowland podcast on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere you find podcasts. And we'd love to have you as a follower on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
There you go, good, good, keep coming. Good, see how you turn them? Low left, go down. That is a big fish, dude.
Way to go, Justin.
That is a big fish. You got him, nice job, bud.
Turned into a super fisherman.
Keep your rod low now that it's close to the boat. You don't bring it up any higher than that. Nice job. Look at the size of that one, whoa!
That's a real one.
See if you can get him out here in the sun, Tom.
That one's for real. What do you think about that there, Justin?
I'll get a picture of you guys with him.
I got him. We had some great action and finished it off with Justin just catching the biggest fish of the day and being tired and being like, I don't know how you can do better than that. That's the biggest fish I've ever caught. That's the biggest fish I want to catch. And Justin was able to do that right at the boat. Mike was able to do it. And man, just awesome.
Justin, that's about as big as lemon sharks get. That's a big one.
And I feel like you made some huge improvements on the way that you were fighting them on that fight. Popped off and then he ate the trolling motor on the way out. Good
nice job,
man.
Bud.
Way to go.
Nice
Good job, dude.
Okay.
That's a full-grown one.
Well,
exhausted.
We'll work out. You're exhausted. I'll tell you what, that's a good way to end it right there. Slow to start and challenging.
That's what makes it fun.
It makes it all the sweeter when it starts happening like that.